Hello, this is YLAM, and today we're going to be going over the racetrack for race number 2 in the 2016 FPV season for Louisville, Kentucky. So this is a bit more complicated than race 1, which was just a modified version of a drag race, which turned out to be a really fun day worth of racing. A lot of people thought it was going to be too simple, but it turned out to be a really good race day. So we're usually parked down here, and the race line is usually right here, right about here. And what we're going to do is we're going to line 4 quads up as long as we have enough people. When the go tone goes, we are going to be using the iLap transponder for this race, so definitely have that on. You want your transponder pointing to the right. Go tone, we're going to go ahead and go through a small straight, and then we're going to be snaking through a bunch of S turns. These little dots denote flags. So you're going to be snaking through 4 flags. Once you get done with the 4th flag, you're going to go ahead and loop around the 2 big trees on the far side of this field. Once you loop around the 2nd tree, there'll be a small little tunnel over here between the 2 big trees and 1 smaller tree. You want to go ahead and go through that little tunnel, swing around, you'll immediately see another turning flag. You want to go to the outside of that turning flag, which will put you onto a straight. On this straight, we're going to have 1 big gate. This is just to keep you honest and keep you low to the ground. You'll go through that gate, straight down, and then you'll go through another turning flag, which is going to bring you into the hairpin that we're going to have for this course. Once you get through the hairpin and around the last turn, you'll go ahead and go through the race gate and on to the next lap. So that is the course for race number 2. So I'm going to very quickly go over how we're going to be scoring this race, and we're probably going to be using this method throughout the rest of the season. We might make some changes, but we're just trying different things to keep things interesting for our particular race league and our format. So let's say, for example, just to keep things simple and numbers small, we have 5 racers that show up. So on that day, 5 racers show up, and those are the ones registered to race for that particular day. What we're going to do for the first hour of the race is we're going to run a series of qualifiers. In this case, what most people know it as most laps. So you'll have 2.5 minutes to race around this track, and what we're going to keep track of is laps and times. So for the first hour of our race day, that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to get through as many sets of these qualifiers as we can. We'll add them up, and that's going to determine your seating for the actual race. So let's say out of these 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, the top qualifier had 11 laps. Next one had 10, next one had 10, and then 8, and then 7. So if we had this kind of breakdown, what we're going to see is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what we're going to do is we're going to have 3 brackets, right? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So this is the first bracket, second bracket, third bracket. Racer A, he's going to go into the top bracket, and then B, and then C. So what happens is that these 2 have the same amount of laps. So we're going to judge this by time. So whoever has the faster time of 10 laps will get the higher seating. And then what we have is 8 and 7. So A, B, C, this is D, and this is E. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in reverse order for seating for the bottom half of the roster. Since we have an odd number of people, the person with the highest seed is going to get a bye, so he immediately goes into the next round. The person in the second bracket, he's going to race against the last person, so he gets slotted to E, and this person gets slotted to D, and then they race off, and then that will determine the next round of racing, and so forth and so on. If we have a small number of people, we'll only have 2 people on the track. If we have a much larger group, then we'll have 4 people on the track. And basically, the higher you are in the bracket, if we can't fit you into the race, then you automatically get a bye because you're the highest seed. So that's how we're going to do our format all the way through. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask me on meetup.com. That's where we're going to schedule all of our races. Please don't leave in the comments below because I will not check these as often. You can bring it during the race day, but we prefer to have our questions beforehand.